Okay, let's wait for this audience to start building up. We're not in the white car with me sitting there having that mount with my cradle on my phone, looking like a guy that's been struggling in the heat all day. I'm in a shop. It's called the Stray Whisker, and that's where I'm doing my market wrap with a man, Con. And you know what Con does? Con looks after real estate agents across Australia, not just in New South Wales, because it is an online business, and they come to Con. In a moment, we're going to talk about our market wrap, because I've got to tell you, not happy, Jane. Not happy today, Jane. And the real estate agents that want to smell good, that want to look good, that want to introduce themselves before they speak. It's a form of communication. Who do they see? The one and only Con from the Stray Whisker. We're in Lura, by the way. I've just finished an auction. Mate, do you like Lura?
I do. I love Lura. At the risk of sounding like a cliche, it's lifestyle up here. The pace is great. It's just the climate. You can sleep well at night because it's nice and cool. The temperature drops down. It has everything going for it. Beautiful walks, national park. I mean, what's not to like?
Hey team, by the way, can I tell you? It has to be the best cure to insomnia. Just freeze the room up. Listen, I do it all the time.
It's true.
I'm sitting in a hotel. I can't sleep. I get up. I go to the air conditioning. I put 17 degrees. Fan on number 3.
Yeah.
I throw the blanket,
yeah.
and I just have the sheet, and within half an hour I fall asleep.
Yeah.
Something happens when your body's cold.
At rest, the metabolic rate lowers, and so we generally sleep with too many things on. So we really do need to sleep in a cooler room than we've been led to believe all these years. My mother used to say, "Cover yourself, you'll get cold," but the actual opposite is true.
Cover yourself, you'll get cold. Oh, don't go outside in the cold, you'll get a cold. It's funny, you know, being brought up by Greek parents, they never ever said to you, you'll get a cold because a germ will go from one person to the other. It was always, it's going to be cold, you're going to get a cold. True. Now listen,
yes.
I'm going to do my market wrap,
Right.
and you're going to try and make me feel better today,
right.
because it's been a bad day, Con. I did 1 out of 6, and this is after I've had 3 incredible weeks. Now, Con said to me, does that mean, because you read a comment that John McGrath said during the week, which is the market has bottomed and it looks like it's getting better, and he goes, does that mean that it hasn't bottomed? And I said to Con, no, it has bottomed, because it's very easy sometimes to turn around and say, hey, 1 out of 6. All it would have taken is, like the property I just did here, about 50 grand short. I had another one, I was 20 grand short. Before you know it, you get to 4 out of 6, right? So don't use a small sample size to make a forecast for the Reserve Bank, and definitely not the Tom Panos sample size of 6 properties. But 1 out of 6 today, ladies and gentlemen. 1 out of 6. Things are falling down here, and I put that back there. 1 out of 6 today, and I'm going to let you know. Was this caused by the Reserve Bank putting rates up during the week? I don't think so, because I think most people had factored in that rates are going up. And in fact, if anything, it was positive, because the dialogue from the Reserve Bank was, hey, we probably will be putting a pause after next month's rate rise. So it wasn't bad news, but 1 out of 6, and it was a landmark property here in Lura. We're very close to putting it together. The bidding was pretty strong, but I have to say to you, I'm going to be very interested to see what other people have done with their results. But what's your view on the market at the moment? As someone that follows real estate.
Look, I follow it, and I'm only an armchair observer of it. I can't claim to be dabbling in real estate as anywhere near the amount that you are. But I have seen that there are people still buying. There's still interest out there. Without any doubt in my mind, the media and the pundits are saying things which plays on people's minds, and that's a bad thing. We don't want that. But I think, I mean, I can't say it's buoyant, but I think it's bobbing. It's starting to bob back.
As far as I'm concerned, I think the worst has gone past us. The worst was last year.
Yeah.
The worst was last year, but now some of the results. By the way, today, I sold a property in Roselands. You know Roselands? Like, Roselands was the place every Greek parent used to take their kids under 5 years of age. We're going to Roselands. That was your trip out, Roselands Shopping Centre. Now, I want to let you know that I sold a property there, brand new build, duplex, $1,904,000.
Okay.
Now, before we go today, I want to say, you're going to make me feel a little bit better, because I said to him, I want to smell good. I'm going on planes all the time, and I said I want some aftershave. And then he says, okay, well, here's the aftershave. And then I said, does it last all day? He says, oh, this is what you have after you shave. If I don't shave every day, he said, oh, you can still use it, but then you move on to the fragrance. I'm confused. What's the difference between aftershave and fragrance?
Okay, the two terms aren't interchangeable. Aftershave, as the name implies, you're meant to use straight after you've shaved. So you'll shave your face, rinse it off, take a bit of aftershave, which is usually a splash, and put it on.
Right.
It doesn't last anywhere near as cologne or EDTs or eau de parfums or parfums do. It's not meant to, but you'll get wafts of it through the course of the day. And I suspect that in your line of work, you don't really want to be smelt from 3 blocks away. You don't want to scare the horses away. You don't want to be far away.
I don't want to look like I've put 20 sprays of red jupe. You know the red jupe?
I do.
And I'm going into DCMs.
Why did you take me there? Don't take me to June.
Why did I take him there?
Yeah.
The red jupe, $29 at the Chemist Warehouse. You come out, you spray 3 sprays on, you are sprayed for the week.
Yes. Now, after that spray, look, aftershave, just spray it. Apply after you've shaved. EDT you can use whether you've shaved
Is
or
that
not.
aftershave?
This is a cologne that I think you should get.
That's cologne.
Boulder Serini, I think this is something that's really good.
Is this aftershave?
That's the aftershave splash.
So this is going to give occasional throughout the day.
This will, because it's alcohol based, it will firstly disinfect your skin as soon as you put it on. So we've got that. And then you'll have that fragrance, mainly skin scent. So if you're leaning in to speak to someone at an auction, like this, you always see that in auctions. There's always a closing in. They'll smell it on you. And they'll say, this guy's classy. If they can smell it on you from 50 metres away, it might say something about you, Tom, and I don't think it's you. Don't do it.
Mate,
Less is more.
You might be watching, there used to be a guy at News Corp who would walk into a meeting 1 or 2 minutes late, and the minute he walked in, it was this big smell. Everyone looked at it, and he had this freshness about it. But I've got to tell you, everyone would look at each other. Some people would go like this, right? You know. So we don't want that. So I want to ask you, with this here, how do you apply aftershave?
Okay, so you've just shaved.
Just had a shave.
You've just rinsed your face off. Pat dry with a towel.
Yeah.
Don't dry it. Just leave it sort of damp-ish.
Yes.
Take some of this aftershave.
Yes.
Splash it in your hands.
Yes.
Work in your hands, and then evenly distribute it around your skin. There will be a sting. It's going to sting momentarily, and then the sting will fade, and you'll just be left with this beautiful, fresh-smelling, oh my God, I can't believe this man is a real estate agent type of smell.
Oh my God, I can't believe this man is a real estate agent. And I go this, pay another 50,000.
Oh, you smell good.
And you'll say, yeah, I'll give you the other 50.
I might say that.
Okay, now let's move on.
This is an EDT.
What's that stand for?
Eau de toilette. It's all French.
Okay.
Right? It basically means toilet water. If you really want to know, eau de toilette is toilet water. This isn't toilet water. This smells quite nice. Soapy, clean, sort of talcum-y, linen kind of scent. And it just smells like you're clean. It smells like you're really, really clean. That's it. Not, oh my God, I think this guy is hitting on me, or oh, can you smell
Clean's good.
Yeah, clean's good. And clean's good, particularly in the industry, because whether we like it or not, fragrances are a signalling device. You're signalling to someone that you're either...
I'm a clean, straight-talking agent. I could have gone for the dupe, but I chose I didn't.
Don't go for the dupe.
he hates the red dupe. What about the green or blue? No difference.
Look, dupe's okay. If you're at some nightclub, maybe. If it's 1987, maybe. But we really need to move on from that, Tom. I think that's had its day.
I need to share this with you.
Okay.
You know when you've worn a shirt and it was a really good night and people gave you compliments, or you know when you've had a cologne, I have to tell you,
Yeah.
dupe many years ago at a nightclub, I had a very positive comment from someone, and then it stayed with me in my head, and then I kept on using it, and then I would notice in the wrong environment, people are sitting there, even at home. My wife's saying to me, "What have you got here? We can't get the smell out of the shirts."
Can I just ask you, was Walk Like an Egyptian a hit in the top 10 at that time when you were wearing it, or Ain't Nobody by Chaka Khan? Because
Ain't Nobody.
Oh, okay, don't sing. Look, it's a signalling device, and it's
That's what it is, isn't it? It's a signalling device. Can I ask you, this one here signifies I'm clean.
Yeah.
Man, can I just ask you, can you show me, I mean, I'm buying this, can you show me how we're going to...
Well, you're not buying this one, but this is a...
Right.
This is a
oh, it's a spray.
It's a, yes, it's a tester.
Okay.
Please don't spray it like this.
No?
Distance.
How far? 30 centimetres?
At least, at very least. Now, what happens is that once you spray this, the atomizer evenly distributes the particles and they fall here.
What a market rap it is today, eh?
Here, you want even dispersal. You don't want concentrations of perfume just on your neck.
Okay, can I do it?
You can.
And you tell me if I'm doing this right.
Right.
Okay.
I'll
So the
stand
further away, the bigger the angle.
The distribution.
Oh, yes. How many sprays?
2 or 3. That's it. Now, please do it without a shirt on, but not now.
Okay.
So do it without a shirt on, let it sit, and then get dressed.
For how long? A minute?
No, it'll evaporate off. The first thing that evaporates
Can
off.
I ask you?
Yes.
But by the way, for those that have just joined in, we're at the Straight Whisker in Lura.
That's right.
The place where real estate agents and mortgage brokers, guys that is, it's 95% guys, your clientele.
A lot of women as well that are buying for their men, but also that enjoy. What do you think of that?
I like it because it's not too strong,
No.
but it's I can still smell
You
it.
see what I'm saying? It's not. It doesn't say look at muy, look at muy.
What's this one called?
This one is called Baltasarini Eau de Cologne Concentré. It's a concentrate. So this will give you a few more hours than the non-concentrated.
Can I ask you, Tom, with the 3 sprays I put on there,
Yes.
if I put that on at 7:38 in the morning,
Yes.
will I go to 5 o'clock and it'll still be there?
Okay, so that will depend on your level of activity. If you're at a conference and you're shouting and screaming and trying to get as many people to participate, it will carry. Why? Because your body's heating up. And as it heats up, the aromatics are activated.
Right.
If you're going to sit in a cold room in an office, sitting there, it will waft, it'll come and go. Heat activates fragrances.
Right.
And when you're doing 20 push-ups in your things, or you're getting people to get up and when you're shouting and screaming and carrying on, that will carry. Because it's the heat.
Okay.
It's the heat that'll get things.
So, team, by the way, I know some of you are going to be turning around, you're going to be saying, oh, he's doing an infomercial here.
No, he's not.
No,
I didn't want this.
Guys, he didn't want it, and I'm actually paying for these, but I've got to get out of my misery because I got 1 out of 6. So what I do to get out of my misery, I go buy things at the shops. I sometimes buy something that makes me feel good, and it just worked out, and that's the reason why. Right? Now, can I ask you one final question? Do you ever put on aftershave and cologne?
Generally speaking, no.
Right.
But I will put on aftershave even if I haven't shaved, if I like the scent. So rather than using an EDT every day, and I really like this scent, I can wear this when I've shaved and if I haven't shaved. But remember, this is not a spray bottle. It's a little. You have to actually pour it into your hands and put it on your skin. Make sure your skin's damp though. Don't put it on dry skin. It'll carry on. Okay.
Now, just in case anyone turns around and says, oh, but Tom, what are you going on about now? We're supposed to be doing a market rep. We did it. It's 1 out of 6. And guess what? It's my show. And that's what we do. I'll cry if I want to. I'm not going to cry because next week's going to be a better week.
It'll be a better week. Now, off camera, you asked me about some of the things that I think.
The three, what you know, these real estate agents and mortgage brokers,
Yes.
what do they do wrong in grooming? The three biggest sins.
Okay. Firstly, it's to think that people don't really care how they appear. They do care. It is another, like this is signalling how you present yourself. I mean, this is nothing revolutionary. We know this. We've heard this time and time again. But you're signalling to the person that's sitting opposite you that you respect the work that you're in. You respect what you're doing. I'm not talking about vendors, we're talking about buyers, we're talking about you respect yourself.
Yes.
That's the first thing. The second thing is, and it might be a little bit fickle, but it brings some gravitas, some authority, if you like, to the equation. It says that if this person's taking the effort to present themselves well, and you know what I mean by presentation, there are some people out there that go too much. We're not talking haute couture and really, Milan type. We're just talking a nice jacket, shirt. You don't have to wear a tie. That's not compulsory. But it signals to the person that you actually take what you're doing seriously, that you respect what you're doing, and hopefully that respect is reciprocated back to you. The second thing is to know your place, know when to wear you, know when to fold them, and know when to hold them. With you, fold it. Get rid of you, please.
You got to know when to hold. Know when to fold. At 9 a.m. on Monday morning, there's no juke.
No.
Not Monday morning, 9 a.m.
No, that's right. And the other thing is, what works on date night and at weddings and at whatever else you're doing, social events, doesn't and shouldn't really translate into your workplace. What do I mean by that? I could undo my shirt down to here and start these ones and this and that, and please don't do that. Even if you wanted this and that and that and this, don't do it. But don't laugh, it's true. You know it's true. Yeah, just keep it a bit more. Because that person has to believe in what you are and who you are. You're helping them, you're assisting them, you're facilitating something. And facilitation, okay, so let's say, I know that you've had ample experience with people in the medical profession. If you turned up to your medical practitioner and they were this and that and telling you that we've got this clinically, we're trialling this particular drug, and they look like they're about to go to icebergs or one of...
Yes, correct.
How do you feel about that?
Correct.
I know it doesn't make the doctor. I know it doesn't make...
No, you're right. But it sounds like, mate, I want the doctor to be conservative.
Yeah.
I want the doctor to actually sound intelligent, not too suave, no commission breath.
No.
You're playing with my life.
Yes.
I want you to be a geek, and I want you to potentially be wearing glasses because you studied so hard that your eyes have been impacted. That's what I want, correct?
Well, in a way, yes, absolutely. But you need to instill that confidence in the people that you deal with. Regardless of whether that's your chosen lifestyle in private, there has to be a clean line of demarcation. There you go.
Correct.
That's how I would put it. I don't walk around like this every day. I own tracksuit pants and shorts and all sorts of things, but I'm not going to wear them at work. This is my uniform. It's something that I'm proud to wear, and I think the people that deal with me then feel that the advice they're getting from me is sound advice. Now I know it can go the other way too far, and people will say, Louise, like he thinks he's, it's a bit too polished. There is a fine line. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I say know your place. Know your place in the scheme of things.
And don't overstep your mark.
I think so. But that comes with experience, though.
Yeah.
Hang around with, for want of a better word, find the daggiest real estate agent you know and watch them. Watch what they do, right? The sort of bloke that you think, or woman that you think, I wouldn't really dress like them, but just watch them. They've been in the industry for 40 years for a reason, right? Now, I'm sure if they invited you to their house for a barbecue on the weekend, you wouldn't see them the way you see them in the office, but they're still, know your place. I think that's probably the most
100%. Don't just interest too much from clients. Like, if your clients, man, I was in Byron on Monday and Tuesday, right? If you go to a listing presentation to Byron Bay, you don't wear a three-piece suit right, with shiny black shoes, right? You've got to understand it's a country town, well it is when there's no holidays. But you still should dress a little bit better than your clients, isn't
Yes,
it? Because you've got to look like professional.
Yeah, look, I think the general rule is always be well dressed.
Yes.
Now, what well dressed means at a Sunday barbecue is obviously quite different to what well dressed means in a board meeting, which is very different to what it means to be well dressed in another venue. But you can still be well dressed in those three particular scenarios and not wear exactly the same thing. This is what I'm saying, know your place. You know, say, right, this is where I should be, this is the sort of the area that I should be working in. Ties people pay out on the guy with a tie in the office. Oh, wear your tie, look at it, corporate, it looks like it, you know. I understand that because it's an easy target. You can just point to someone and say, look at them, they're just... but when you dress for the occasion and when you're well aware of your place, then I think that will also encourage your behaviour as well in a certain way. It's all connected. That's a topic for another time. I think
Go to your last point on grooming. You got another one there? I mean, I've got to tell you, smelling. The more I think about it, if you listen to the media and you hang around with idiots all the time, you'll get stinking thinking. But if you don't look after yourself, you'll actually smell stinking, and stinking it's not good.
No.
Right?
Look, I would, unless you belong to some sort of corporate organisation, I would have a rotation. For example, this is the ratio that I have, and this is just me. 3 to 2 to 1. 3 white shirts,
yes.
2 blue shirts,
yes.
and 1 pink. And by pink, I mean not something that's over the top, but something that's sort of a light lilac-y colour that I can open with, just a little bit open, and still is fairly professional, but it's a little more laid back. It's a Friday afternoon.
Got you.
Right? The 3 shirts, the white shirts, are the ones that, in the summertime, they must be changed daily. Don't wear the same shirt twice. Armpits harbour bacteria, bacteria stinks. You then try and mask that stench with more thing, and it just doesn't work. I know this sounds like it's common sense, but a lot of people that come in here and they're selling $2 and $3 million properties, and yeah, the smell.
You know, in some countries, I can't get over it. You know that they don't shower every day, every second day.
Well, I guess that's the climate. I mean, there might be some people. Diet is another thing. You know, so there's diet, there's climate, there's culture, there's all sorts of things. But please, personal hygiene is very, very, very important, and that should be considered as part of your attire. It's signalling, and sometimes if you're signalling with the nose, you're going to go again.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. Oh, geez.
Right. You do smell quite nice.
Australian Whisker.
Will you marry me?
Mate, if I wasn't married, I would.
Okay.
You ready?
You smell.
Look at that.
Oh my God, you just smell.
I tell you what, I'm feeling good.